Good morning. Welcome to Escoffier Online. My name is Chef Caesar. Today I'm going to show you how to do some duck breast preparation. I got some beautiful duck breasts here. I don't know if you guys ever done this. I hope you guys have. Let me know if you guys ever done this. Maybe some duck confit too. A duck's a very nice dark meat, and you want to treat this as a red meat. You don't want to overcook this like we do chicken, like cook it to 165. This is a very lean piece of meat. As you can see, this it has some fat, but it's only on the skin side, underneath the skin. But actually, on the meat itself is very lean. So we're gonna start by preparing the duck breast here. I'm gonna pound them a little bit. That way, when we pan fry them, they don't take too long to cook. So I'm gonna put a little plastic film down here in my cutting board. That way, it doesn't make a big mess when I have to clean it up. So we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna trim some of the excess fat. And have you guys ever had some French fries cooking duck fat? Any of you? Sometimes those are very popular. Anybody? No? Sometimes restaurants, they have those as a special, and it's really nice. It has a very unique flavor, but they're really good. And you can buy duck fat in containers. I don't know if it is really hard to find in a grocery store. I was able to find some duck breasts fairly easy. They come frozen. You might see them frozen. Sometimes I never see them fresh, to be honest with you. Even in the restaurant, we get them frozen, but you can thaw them out. So I'm gonna pound this out a little bit. And you don't want to pound them too much. You don't want to destroy the meat. So just a little bit. Over. As you can see, it's really easy when you have them in a plastic wrap. Yeah. My melt's not that heavy, so that's why I'm like, okay, that should be good enough. I'm gonna. All right. We want to score the fat side because we want the heat to penetrate, and also you want the fat to render. That way the skin gets nice and crispy. And as you can see, it has some little silver skin on the side. You want to try to take it off as much as you can. Otherwise, when it cooks, it's going to shrink, and you don't want that. It's really tough too. So you want to try to get as much as you can off the meat side. It has a little silver skin underneath here. Okay. And since we already pounded, this is kind of soft. I should have done it when it was like before I pounded meat out. This one's pretty good. And I want to put them flat like this because I want to trim some of the excess fat around here, okay? Just as you can see, there's a little extra skin. It comes, okay. This one's not as bad. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask along the way. Okay, now we're gonna. Yes, go ahead.
Is there a certain type of duck you use, or just a duck?
Well, normally these are the Mollard ducks, the white ducks that you see. Those are the ones that are like farm raised.
Okay, but what if you would hunt them?
Well, you can use a wild duck too. The taste is going to be a little bit different because they eat in the wild. These are farm raised, so they whatever they eat, it's also going to have an effect in the taste. But wild ducks you can use too.
Okay, thank you.
And when you're cutting down, you don't want to go too deep. You don't want to cut through the meat, just the skin side, okay? And like I said, we're doing this so that the heat penetrates and some of the fat's going to melt down and then render. Okay. Okay, as you can see there. This one too. And since we pound them out, so it's not as very thick. I should have done it when it was like, without pounding it. You're going to see that the fat's a little bit thicker. Okay. Now we're going to turn the pan on here. It's going to be a little smoky today. I got some clarified butter here. You guys can use oil if you want. You don't have to use too much because there's gonna be a lot of fat coming from the breast. Okay. I'm gonna wipe down my cutting board with some bleach solution here. I'm also going to make a nice raspberry sauce with this. You can make whatever you want. I mean, raspberries goes really well with this. I'm also going to serve a salad, but you can use this as a main entree, as a sandwich too. If you want to make a sandwich with that, it's fine. Okay. We want to season our duck breast here with some black pepper. Some coarse salt here. Some kosher salt. I like cooking with kosher salt. This is what we use most of the time in restaurants because it doesn't stick to your fingers. It's got a nice big grains, and this is the reason we like to use it in restaurants. You guys, at home I have some too, but I also use, sea salt. Okay. Okay, we're going to put our duck breast, the skin side down first. I'm just going to smoke a little here. I have to open the door a little bit here, guys. Okay, it's going to smell really nice. So we're going to start browning our duck here. You want to let it go for a few minutes. You want to, get the skin nice and crispy, and then we're going to flip it over. In about 4 or 5 minutes, I'm going to put it in my little oven back here. But you guys at home, if you want to finish off in the stovetop, you can. But if you want to finish in the oven, that's fine too. Okay. In the meantime, I want to make a little dressing for my salad, so I don't sit here, So I got my towel. It's wet because I'm going to use a little bowl here to make a little vinaigrette. I'm making a mango and passion fruit vinaigrette. So I want to make sure my bowl is not moving around. So I got some mango juice. I got some passion fruit here juice with some seeds. This is very simple. I mean, you guys can use something different, but if you don't have to use what I'm doing here. But I'm going to give you the recipe anyways. Okay. I'm going to add a little mustard, Dijon. This helps to emulsify. We're doing basically an emulsion. And this is a temporary emulsion. If you make this, you're going to see that eventually it's going to separate. But you want to emulsify the oil with the vinegar and the juice here that we have. Mustard, a little white pepper too. As you can see, you guys can multitask in the kitchen. So I'm going to move this around a little bit here. Look at that. As you can see, there's a lot of fat coming off. You guys saw that I had a little butter and see all the fat that's in there now? Okay. I'm going to add a little rosemary. You guys can add some fresh thyme too to infuse some flavor to your the meat here. And you don't have to add anything if you don't want. Okay. It smells really nice. Okay. So here we go. I'm adding a little rice wine vinegar here. You guys can use white vinegar too. I just like, rice wine. I mean, I'm using some avocado oil. Anytime you guys do a vinaigrette, I mean, I recommend using a light oil. That way, if you're having if you're making a basic one, you can use, olive oil, light. But if you add in other flavors, I'm using mango and some passion fruit, you don't want to overpower that with some oil that's very strong. Okay. And the key is to add the oil very slow at first.
Chef?
Yes.
I was
was wondering with the avocado oil, is it better to use when you're using more of like fruits in your salad and stuff like that to bring out that flavor?
The avocado oil is very light oil, doesn't have a lot of, it's not very intense. So really, you want to use that because you want to kind of, taste the flavor of the fruits like you were saying. So that's why I like to use it. Also for cooking, this one has the highest smoking point. So you can cook, heat it up to 520 degrees before it flashes. So this one has, a really high smoking point, even for cooking.
Thank you.
As you can see, the skin is getting nice and crispy here.
Chef, could you kind of explain the taste? It doesn't look like chicken.
Well, no, this is darker meat. It has a little more gamey flavor to it, to the duck, but it's really mild too. It's not very strong. Because these are farm raised too. Remember that. And the ones you hunt in the wild, they have a little stronger flavor. But this one's for farm raised, so the feed they eat is a little bit different than the ones in the wild. So it's not going to be a strong gamey flavor either. Okay, I'm going to transfer my meat here to my little oven. Okay, very hot. So I'm going to put that in here. I got to make the sauce too, but I want to finish my vinaigrette here before I go to the sauce. Making dressings is very easy. I mean, I know it's very convenient to go buy them in the store, but as you can see, making a nice vinaigrette at home is so simple. And you only need a few ingredients, really. If you have a machine, you can use it too. I just want to, do it with a whisk. But if you guys have a little stick blender, you can use that too. You don't have to worry about your arm getting really tired.
How much oil do you add to your vinaigrette?
Well, you do 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you the recipe too.
Please, chef, what was the temperature of that oven? And do you take it out at 165 like poultry, or do you?
Okay, when you're cooking duck, you don't want to cook it well done because you're going to be a little dry. You want to take it about 140. You want to cook it about medium.
Okay, 140. Thank you.
Yeah. And you want to let it rest, too. You don't want to cut it right away because it's like cutting a piece of meat. If you cut, steak, just came out of the oven or the grill, all the juice is going to go all over the place. The same thing with duck. You want to let it rest for a few minutes before you slice it.
Thank you, chef.
I'm gonna put this aside here, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna make my my sauce here for my duck breast. Okay, I'm gonna take some of this out of here, some of the rosemary. Rather use my spoon here, and I'm gonna use some of this fat to cook some shallots. I'm doing a raspberry sauce. You can use maybe some grapes or figs. I mean, you can do so many different sauces with this. And you can make this the sauce right in the pan too. Okay, so I'm gonna take all these little needles here from the rosemary. It's gonna give a nice flavor to the sauce too. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe down my little, a lot of oil here from the duck breast cooking. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take some of this fat out of here for about, pretty much everything except about 1 teaspoon here. And I got some shallots here. And you want to sweat the shallots. You don't want to brown them too much. Be careful not to turn the heat too high. So you just want to kind of sweat them and get the flavor out, get them nice and soft. Yeah. Okay, guys, I got a little raspberry vinegar here. I'm also gonna add a little white wine. You can use any kind of white wine if you want. If you want to use the sweet wine, in this case, a Riesling will work really well. I'm using the Chardonnay, but if you guys have some sweet wines at home, if you like to use, feel free. Okay, I'm gonna throw some fresh raspberries in here. Okay. I'm only gonna save a few for my salad I'm gonna be making. Okay. I also got a little bit of chicken stock here. I'm gonna reduce this a little bit before I add the chicken stock. You want to break down the raspberries. If you want, you can also use frozen raspberries, but fresh always better. As long as they're not too expensive. Okay. Chicken stock there. Okay, I'm gonna check my duck back here, make sure it's not getting overcooked. Okay, I'm gonna take one this out because one is smaller, the other one's a little bigger. So this one is done. It's, the way to feel is like cooking a steak. You can feel it when it's the meat's getting firm, and that means it's getting done. The harder it gets, the more well done it is. So this one is, I hope doesn't get overcooked on me. But again, this one is a small piece, and I want to let it rest for a little bit here. I can leave it here. Finish my sauce over here. I'm also going to add a little honey. Okay. More. Okay. So we're going to let it go here for a little bit more. I want to taste my vinegar. I might have to do a little honey to this one too. I can put a little honey too. Maybe a little more oil. There we go. side. Okay, looks like my duck back here is starting to cook a little more, so I think I'm gonna shut her off. It's getting a little smoky too. Okay, I'm gonna turn her off there. I'm gonna reduce the sauce a little more. I'm gonna add a little butter to get it a little thicker, nice and shiny. Make sure this has enough. Good. A little more honey to make it a little sweeter. There you go. Now we have our duck breast here. Okay. Okay. It's resting. The other one's back here still cooking. We got another piece. And you guys can see the skin is nice and crispy. Look at that. That's what you want, okay? Okay, now we're gonna start to put my salad together. Since the duck's almost done here, the sauce is getting reduced now. It's a little more. I got a little different lettuces here I'm gonna be using. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on the sauce. I don't want to get it too thick. Any questions, anybody out there? Making a nice little endive salad here. You guys can do whatever you guys like at home. Doesn't necessarily has to be a salad like this. I'm gonna use a smaller one over here on this side. Little arugula here. Arugula's got a very unique taste. A little bitter, but you add some nice like a sweet vinaigrette. It brings out the flavor. So I mean, some people don't like it and some do. It depends. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little whole butter to my sauce here. More. You guys can see this is very easy to do. Okay, now I'm gonna shut her off. It's done. The last thing you want to do is just incorporate the whole butter to get a nice shine, and it gets a little thicker too. It helps to thicken up the sauce. Okay. I got a little kiwi berries here I'm gonna use. Some yellow cherry tomatoes. I like to add a lot of color to my salads, especially in the summertime. Spring's coming. Yeah, I like to get a little, more ingredients that are like in season. I got some ribbons from some carrots, some white carrots, some orange ones, yellow.
Chef, what kind of salad that is?
But it's just basically a green salad. You can do whatever you want. I got some endive here, some arugula, and I'm using some cucumbers, little fruits here. As you can see, it's very simple. I got some of this red little ribbons, some carrots. White. I'm gonna put some of my duck breast down here on this side. Okay.
And would you recommend for presentation to serve on the plank like that or a plate?
Oh, you don't have to. I'm just doing for presentation. You can use a regular china plate. It's fine.
Okay. But it do look good on that wood plank.
Well, if you like it, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
As you can see, the meat's nice and it's not overdone. This is how it should be. I'm gonna put a little sauce on my. You're gonna set it like this. It's fine. Skin side up. And you can do this as a main entree. Doesn't have to be a salad like this. I mean, you can make it as an entree, as with a full meal, and you can use maybe a starch, the couscous, or anything you want. Some kind of potato dish. It's so many different things that we can do with that. Okay, I think I just lost my spoon here. Let me get another one too. This is some of my vinaigrette here. See. Okay. There we go. Nice salad. You guys have any questions before we wrap this up? You guys can do other things too, different dressings. I just kind of like passion fruit, and I happen to, walk by the store and I got some mango juice, and I just, made a nice fruity vinaigrette. Let me move us out of the way so you guys can see the final plate. There you go.
With that total prep time and total cook time, you say about how long it will take?
How long do it take? About half an hour or so? I mean, once you have your mise en place set up, you can go very quick, as you can see. I mean, it's very important to have everything ready to go before you start actually, the cooking process. So I got a little dill here. And everything's nice and refreshing, as you can see. I mean, everything's fresh, and I mean, you don't have to really, spend a lot of time in the kitchen as long as you guys plan ahead. Everything's really simple. I mean, all the preparation is pretty much done ahead of time. As you can see, to make the sauce, cook the, duck breast, I was doing, multitasking, doing a few things, at the same time while I had the duck cooking. I was, doing the vinaigrette, and try to do that too at home. And you're going to see that you're going to be able to, cook dinner very quick as long as you plan ahead of time. Okay, I'm going to do, maybe for example, cook a duck breast, then I can start making the vinaigrette, and you'll be, eating with your family in no time.
Chef?
Yes, ma'am.
Your plate up is beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I was wondering about the plank. Is that something that was just cleaned off? They sand it down, and how would you wash something like that?
I put some oil on here, mineral oil, like same ones we use for the cutting boards before I use it. That way I can, it's seal, and I can use it again.
Oh, what a great idea. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. I'm really happy that you guys join me every other week, and I'm looking forward to see you guys again at the following week.
Okay, Chef, I got one more question.
Go ahead.
With that duck breast, can you also smoke it or grill it? Or
yes, you can smoke it. You can do whatever you want. I mean, the grill looks good too, because you want to get the skin nice and crispy. So you can grill it too, and then give it a nice smoke flavor. Oh, definitely, yes.
Okay, thanks, Chef.
Anybody else, folks?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. It was really exciting.
Thank you, Chef.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.